Write your comment and click the subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. American model Meg Miles. Charming photo shoot 1956. Actress, producer, screenwriter Kirsten Imrie 1987. San Francisco circa 1918. Studebaker. Well used, with traveling cases marked RJW and LA. Hampton Roads, Virginia, circa 1895. Boat landing at Old Point Comfort and Hygeia Hotel. Oakland, California, circa 1920. Offices of the Oakland Tribune. Ship launching in Portland, Maine. The men behind the launchings. High in the cab of a whirly crane, these workers operate the derrick which raises the iron gates and releases water into the dock where ships are built. September 1936. House for sale in Manchester, New Hampshire. August 1940. Port Gibson, Mississippi. San Francisco circa 1920. Dale the Truck. Washington circa 1920. Laundry at Library of Congress. San Francisco circa 1927. Page 6 to 45 Brougham $1,350 as equipped. It says on the front of the car. The Jersey Shore circa 1908. Marlboro Blenheim Hotel and Boardwalk, Atlantic City. New York, 1958. Singer Anita O'Day, half-length portrait, facing front. Library at SCPC, Signal Corps Photographic Center, for enlisted men only. Manhattan circa 1906. Times Building. Tom Jensen, Los Angeles police officer, chef at the police academy and part-time actor. June 1953. Activities at the Sun Fun Festival, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Mickey Spillane, one of the beauty pageant judges, on the beach with a woman. San Francisco, 1920. Underwriters fire patrol truck. Market Street, San Francisco, 1920. Washington, D.C. KKK Parade on Pennsylvania Avenue, August 8, 25. May 1943. Arlington, Virginia. Idaho Hall, Arlington Farms, a residence for women working in government for the duration of the war. May 1943. Stockton, California. Mexican agricultural laborers who have come to help harvest beets eating their lunch. September 1911. Crowded tenement used by cranberry pickers, bravos or black Portuguese, from the islands of Cape Verde, in bogs near Wareham, Massachusetts. My grandfather, a carpenter, may have built this house. We do know that he rebuilt the family home that was destroyed in the 1906 earthquake and fire. February 6, 1925. 3 Washington Society Buds in Spectacle. Fredericksburg, Virginia, circa 1927. Tenement 203 Charlotte Street, residence of Governor Hill. Photo taken on commission from Mrs. DeVore of Chatham. San Francisco circa 1924. Oldsmobile Touring Sedan. October 1940. Painting the cylinders of aircraft motors at the Pratt Whitney plant. East Hartford, Connecticut. Stunning Alyssa Alps, 1989 photo shoot. Los Angeles traffic cop/actor/chef Tom Jensen again, in the second photo of this exciting series. June 1943. Oswego, New York. Children recruited for farm work during the summer, waiting to start for work outside the U.S. Employment Service. March 1952. Marlene Dietrich makes her stage debut in Chicago. Pensacola Bay circa 1900. Pensacola Harbor, Florida. San Francisco circa 1918. Chalmers Model 6-30 Roadster facing northwest corner Van Ness Avenue and Sutter Street. (1904). New York Central Hudson River RR Station, Albany, New York. Cincinnati circa 1905. Lafayette and Franklin Banks, 3rd Street. October 1940. Trucks outside of a starch factory, Caribou, Aroostook County, Maine. There were almost 50 trucks in the line. Some had been waiting for 24 hours for the potatoes to be graded and weighed. San Francisco circa 1917. Chalmers Town Car. The ideal conveyance for European nobility. Florida circa 1900. Tampa Bay Hotel. A 500-room resort opened in 1891. Circa 1899. RR Depot at Garrison, New York. From circa 1959 Scottsdale, Arizona, we bring you this Kodachrome slide of the Lulu Bell restaurant on Main Street. (1899) Boat Drill USS, New York. San Francisco, 1920. Haynes 4-passenger coupe. (1864), Bermuda 100, Virginia. Photographer, possibly Matthew Brady, at Butler's Signal Tower, Cobb's Hill, Appomattox River. April 24, 1953. Towson, Maryland. Goucher College, Library Interior 3. Moore Hutchins, client. (1899), A boat crew USS New York. Atlantic City circa 1905. Come on in, the water's fine. Binghamton, New York, circa 1905. Kilmer Building, Chenango Street. June 1943. Arlington, Virginia. Ordering clothes from a mail-order house at Idaho Hall, Arlington Farms, a residence for women who work for the U.S. government for the duration of the war. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Heather Mills, English model, philanthropist, former wife of musician Paul McCartney. Photo 1989. Is an American supermodel and model with charm, Barbara Edwards. Photo 1979. Beautiful Heather Thomas. Charming 1976 photo shoot. San Francisco circa 1918. White 5-ton motor truck loaded with Sperry flour bound for Los Angeles. October 1942. Manpower, junior size. Proud young fighters in Uncle Sam's Junior Army visit a scrapyard in Roanoke, Virginia, to see for themselves what happens to the scrap they collect for our war industries. Circa 1902. Richmond, Backus Company Office, Detroit. April 1st, 1923. Easter at White House, with a number of the Easter Bunny's cousins in attendance. February 1923, Washington, D.C. or vicinity. Puppies, probably Pokey, lovably little. Boston, 1906. Copley Square and Museum of Fine Arts. California circa 1911. Rudy Unholzen brother. The German-born lightweight, Wright, died in 1916 at the age of 34. October 1890. Mississippi cotton gin at Dahomey. Which way to the break room? From San Francisco circa 1940 comes this uncaptioned photo of Joe DiMaggio and friend and at least a dozen cups of coffee. Who can explain what's going on here? San Francisco, 1928. Hudson convertible sedan at Golden Gate Park. Toledo circa 1909. Produce Exchange and Ohio Building, Madison Avenue at St. Clair. Washington, D.C., circa 1937. Dog Mart. L. Metropolis, whom Edward A. Platt, of the town of Sherman, in the county of Fairfield and state of Connecticut, appointed an honorary deputy sheriff on November 4, 1938. San Francisco circa 1940. Joe DiMaggio and friend pouring coffee in restaurant kitchen. November 1908. Gastonia, North Carolina. Rush Merrill, Lowray Mill. 12 years old. Been in mill 3 years as doffer. Gets 75 cents a day. Said sometimes gets 3 to 5 hours a day resting between times. San Francisco circa 1920. Doris 6 to 87 passenger sedan. October 1913. Seen on the farm of S.N. Whiteside, near Waxahachie, Texas. Children come out here from the town to pick cotton, outside of school hours. Ages range from 4 years up to 15 and more. Lake Erie circa 1905. Freighters Chili William Castle Roads at Cleveland. September 1942. Substitute materials something new in apple containers. To replace nail-bound wooden boxes, a fiber carton has been developed. San Francisco, 1919. Hudson Autos at Land's End. Woburn, Massachusetts, circa 1906. Ice harvesting on Horn Pond bearing off the floats. (1903) Mechanics Hall, Boston. Circa 1903. Symphony Hall, Boston, Massachusetts. Brooklyn, circa 1905. Oriental Hotel and Bath House, Manhattan Beach, New York. Asbury Park, New Jersey, circa 1903. Landing through the surf. Washington, D.C., circa 1937. U.S. Labor Department and Interstate Commerce Commission building. Passageway between ICC and Departmental Auditorium sections. American model, singer, and actress Meg Miles, 1957. San Francisco, circa 1920. Back at 2150 Washington Street. Moon Auto. Boston, circa 1903. London Ancients and Honorables leaving Rose Wharf on steamer Nantucket for harbor trip. Somewhere in New England, circa 1900. Children at home. Richmond, California, circa 1912. First Wesley Methodist Episcopal Church. August 1941. Chickens raised by FSA borrowers is good right down to the bone. Sunday dinner for flying cadets at Craig Field, Selma, Alabama. August 1941. Trains in the Southern Railway Terminal in Atlanta, Georgia. From somewhere in New England circa 1900, it's the group of serious-looking students. San Francisco circa 1928. Cadillac 5-passenger coupe at Golden Gate Park. July 1922. Washington, D.C. Snapped at the tidal basin. Mildred Kapleck with her pet opossum, the latest novelty introduced at the bathing beach. Boston, Massachusetts, circa 1915. Christchurch, Old North. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, circa 1908. Wood Street, looking east. Circa 1906. Suburban station at Petoskey, Michigan. A locomotive of the Grand Rapids, Indiana Railroad. San Francisco circa 1923. Stutz Roadster at Golden Gate Park. Portland, Maine, circa 1905. Grand Trunk Station, India Street. August 1941. Tank driver. Fort Belvoir, Virginia. June 24, 1916. Police show at Sheepshead Bay Speedway rescuing woman from runaway horse. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. 28th Street Apartments Times. Louisville, Kentucky, circa 1905. 4th Street. July 31st, 1922. Laurel, Maryland. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. Congressional Library Power Plant. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. American actress, model, and exotic dancer Amy Lynn Baxter. Photo shoot 1986. Corina Russell English, former glamour model and dancer of the 1980s. Photo 1983. The lovely and charming Margaret Rose Keel, 1969. New York, 1908. Basketball at Columbia University Gymnasium. June 3, 1920. New York. Columbia University class of 1909. Fagel Heavy Truck Assembly, Oakland, California. Factory, 1918. June 1943. Arlington, Virginia. Girls entertaining their guests in one of the two-card rooms at a residence for the women who work in the U.S. government for the duration of the war. June 1943. Arlington, Virginia. Girls entertaining their guests in one of the two-card rooms at a residence for the women who work in the U.S. government for the duration of the war. August 8, 1962. Washington, D.C. Man in lounge chair representing U.S. indifference to world affairs at the height of the Cold War. May 31, 1943. Gallipolis, Ohio. Soldier at Decoration Day ceremonies. May 31, 1943. Girl Scouts at Decoration Day ceremonies. Cincinnati circa 1900. Burnett House and Chamber of Commerce, 3rd and Vine. Clara, March 16, 1952. We return to colorful Blue Earth, Minnesota. Washington, D.C., 1920. Congress Heights Yankees basketball team. San Francisco, circa 1917. Cole Tour Sedan at Golden Gate Park. (1901) Steamer Priscilla, Fall River Line. At the time of its launch in 1894. Almost welcomes AO and Mess. The Washington, D.C. Masonic Temple's Hello. July 1937. Old Negress of Greene County, Georgia. May 1943. Arlington, Virginia. Reading the Sunday paper at Arlington Farms, duration residence halls for women war workers. New Jersey, circa 1901. Coleman House, Asbury Park. April 1954. New York. Actress Cloris Leachman at home with husband George England and baby Adam. The Dentist, Atlantic City, 1901. September 12, 1946. Washington, D.C. Showroom at Superior Motors. Client, Griffith Consumers Company. March 5, 1929. Cow Band serenades President and Mrs. Hoover at White House following inauguration. Tamaulipas State, Mexico, circa 1891. Tamisai Bridge. Locale based on catalog of the W.H. Jackson Views, 1898. (1904) Sagamore Hotel Dock, Green Island, Lake George, New York. May 31st, 1943. Gallipolis, Ohio. Young horn player at the Decoration Day ceremonies. July 1918. Fagel Motors Truck Factory Front Office. Oakland, California. November 1942. Nurse training at Babies Hospital, New York. A beautiful photo of a girl from the 1970s. January 1943. A blimp of the U.S. Navy is led onto the apron of an East Coast lighter-than-air station before taking off on a patrol flight over the Atlantic Ocean. Oakland, 1918. Creating Fagel walking tractors at factory. Fredericksburg, Virginia, circa 1928. Warehouse, Hoop Pole Factory, 307 to 13 Sophia Street. Circa 1923. Peerless touring car at Lake Tahoe, California. Oakland, California, circa 1918. Walking tractor Fagel orchard tractor demonstration. Atlantic City, circa 1908. Bathing Beach and Steeplechase Pier. Chicago, circa 1955, and Dad is off to the office, or wherever Daddy goes in the morning. October 1941. Theater and Workers Section at Holyoke, Massachusetts. San Francisco, 1923. Studebaker Rally Car. October 1941. Main Street, Holyoke, Massachusetts. Paterson, New Jersey, circa 1911. American Locomotive Company. Rogers Works. 040 locomotive for New Jersey Zinc Company. Summer 1912. District of Columbia Parks. Children at fountains and pools. September 1938. Express Agency Office and General Store in coal mining town of Scotts Run, West Virginia. September 1938. Capels, West Virginia. Coal miner waiting for lift home. San Francisco, 1928. Franklin convertible coupe at Land's End, Presidio. June 1943. Arlington, Virginia. Washing clothes in one of the laundry rooms at Idaho Hall, Arlington Farms, war duration residence hall for women government workers. Circa 1900. Worley's Unloading or Penna RR Docks, Erie, Pennsylvania. March 31, 1941. Robert Glassford, residence in Hobe Sound, Florida. Master bedroom. Alice Morgan Carson, architect. (1861 to 65). Soldier in Union uniform and cap box standing with musket and bayonet with scabbard. New York, 1908. The end of the rampage. Alice under control and thinking it over. Two zookeepers with restrained elephant lying on the ground after running free around the New York Zoological Park, Bronx Zoo. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. American actress Amy Lynn Baxter, 1985. You will appreciate our work. Write your comment and click the subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. Cute model Samantha Fox 1984. Stunning model Natalie Banas, street photo shoot 1989. The Mississippi River circa 1908. Steamboat landing and Union Station at St. Paul, Minnesota. July 13, 1964. San Francisco. Republican National Convention. Governor Mark Hatfield of Oregon delivering keynote address at Cow Palace. July 12, 1964. Ku Klux Klan members supporting Barry Goldwater's campaign for the presidential nomination at the Republican National Convention, San Francisco, California, as an African American man pushes signs back. March 28, 1938. Telegraphic protests against merger bill flood U.S. Senate. Extra messengers were needed today to deliver the thousands of telegrams protesting against the government reorganization bill. Circa 1928. Mrs. Ellis's store, Falmouth, Stafford County, Virginia. May 1st, 1959. Downtown San Francisco, California Street, East Bay Vista from Nob Hill. New York, 1914. Charlie White. Chicago lightweight born 1892 in Liverpool. Retired from the ring in 1925. New York circa 1908. Broadway at Times Square Hotel Astor and Astor Theater. San Francisco circa 1924. Donnelly Cadillac Agency NE Corner Van Ness O'Farrell. Looking up Fremont Street in Las Vegas from South 2nd toward the Fremont Casino Carnival Room around Christmas 1958. A 1960 parade welcoming Republican vice presidential candidate Henry Cabot Lodge Jr. to Danville, Illinois. New York circa 1913. Park Avenue and Vanderbilt Hotel, south from 36th Street. Detroit circa 1901. Screw Ferry Excursion Steamer Pleasure at Belle Isle Ferry Dock, Woodward Avenue. Greene County, New York, circa 1902. Palinville Hotel, Catskill Mountains. Buffalo, New York, circa 1900. Tift House, Main Street. Demolished 1902. Washington, D.C., 1920. Tidal Basin Bathing Beach, Tom Miller, 1912, Irving Street Northeast. New York, circa 1922. Paul Specht Band. Circa 1907. North Adams, Massachusetts. Main Street, looking west. San Francisco, 1931. Auburn at Golden Gate Park. November 1942. Babies Hospital, New York. Nurse training. At the ping pong table in the game room, Susan Petty, student nurse, enjoys a bit of relaxation after a busy day's work in the wards. Union Square, San Francisco, looking north up Powell Street, circa 1958. I believe my parents were in America at the time. July 1943. Washington, D.C. Waiting for the parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. Entertaining themselves with the handheld device known as a newspaper. New York, circa 1922. Paul Specht Orchestra, Hotel Astor Roof Garden. March 14, 1925. New York. Isabella Foster, soprano. San Francisco. Door Touring Car, 1921. October 1922. New York. Cop is all it says on this glass negative depicting. A photo of the beautiful Rosa Domail 1964. Washington, D.C., circa 1921. National Benefit Life Insurance, Interior. July 12, 1922. New York. The soprano and vocal coach Estelle Liebling, instructor of Beverly Sills and a young Meryl Streep. May 1943. San Francisco, California. The Bank of America. (1952). Pine Street at Montgomery, San Francisco. From circa 1924 San Francisco comes this modishly draped miss descending from her sedan. San Francisco, 1952. Fairmont and Mark Hopkins Hotels. New Haven, Connecticut, circa 1902. Banquet in Alumni Hall, University Commons, Yale College. Hampton Roads, Virginia, circa 1895. Hygeia Hotel, Old Point Comfort. July 1943. Washington, D.C. Spectators at the parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. July 1943. Washington, D.C. A man selling flags and buttons at the parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. February 1943. Daytona Beach, Florida. Street scene. Howard's Chicken Shack. We're going to phone 9363 and see if they can deliver to 2023. July 1943. Washington, D.C. Spectators at Office of Civilian Defense parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. February 1943. Daytona Beach, Florida. Sunday morning street scene in Midway. McGill's Fish Market and Fan Lunchroom, Pine Street and 2nd Avenue. June 23, 1964. Ford Showroom in Wheaton, Maryland. Boston circa 1890s. Jamaica Pond Ice Company delivery wagon. San Francisco, 1925. Buick touring car from rear. The Jersey Shore circa 1901. The beach at Asbury Park. July 1959. Detroit's 1960 look. Sneak preview of the new models. Oakland, California, circa 1918. Orchard Tractor Demonstration. Fagel Motors Company walking tractor. Delaware County, New York, circa 1902. Ulster, Delaware RR Station, Fleischmann's, Catskill Mountains. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Charming Maria Whitaker, 1988 photo shoot. Michelle Bauer, 1978. Stunning retro photo shoot of a woman, 1970s. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1950, and a print shop making fruit crate labels. Green Lake, Wisconsin, circa 1899. Old mill at railway station. Columbus, Georgia, circa 1952. Pope Motor Company Service Garage. March 1944. Children playing on the roof of the Lighthouse, an institution for the blind, at 111 East 59th Street, New York. Knoxville, Tennessee, ca. 1941. San Francisco, 1935. Golden Gate Bridge under construction. Pontiac's on Presidio ramp. Atlantic City, New Jersey, 1904. Boardwalk and Hotel Chalfont. May 1942. Southington, Connecticut. An American town and its way of life. The Memorial Day Parade. The town hall is in the left foreground. October 1942. Girl worker at lunch also absorbing California sunshine. Douglas Aircraft Company, Long Beach. San Francisco, 1937. Policeman and Pontiac at Golden Gate Park. December 1957. Washington, D.C. Man tuning console radio while woman in next room types. Washington, D.C., circa 1919. Senator Warren G. Harding, Republican of Ohio. May 1918. American National Red Cross. Aviation camp of the American Army at Isudan. The Canteen Kitchen. December 1957. Washington, D.C. Man with broadcast listings, woman tunes radio. Circa 1899. Ekin, Mrs. L.M. October 1942. Woman at work on bomber motor, Douglas Aircraft Company, Long Beach, California. Circa 1899. Lorian Morrow Ekin. New York, circa 1906. Union League Club, Brooklyn. (1905) City Hall, Troy, New York. This 1875 building, designed by Marcus Cummings. Newport, Rhode Island, 1902. Informal portrait of a young Negro woman working amid clotheslines heavy with sheets and stockings. Circa 1900. Joe Black Fox, a Sioux Indian from Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. San Francisco, circa 1927. Page Cabriolet Roadster. Kelly, W.E. between March 1905 and August 1906. June 1942. Tank driver, Fort Knox, Kentucky. Retro photo shoot, 1980s. Circa 1894. Reuter, Fritz. The Son, and presumably Dog and Cat, of Washington, D.C., hotelier Fritz Reuter. Circa 1910. Hall of Records, Sigget's Courthouse, New York, New York. April 1943. Women workers employed as wipers in the roundhouse having lunch in their restroom, Western Railroad, Clinton, Iowa. March 1966. Actor Adam West on the set of the movie Batman and making public appearances. Washington, D.C., circa 1926. Planograph Building, L Street, NE. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. Garage elevator wreck. Kelly, J.T. Children. Between February 1894 and February 1901. Wellington, New Zealand, circa 1957. Bond Street shows a narrow city lane. June 1942. Greenbelt, Maryland. Grandma Taylor blows out the candles on her 83rd birthday cake while her daughter, Mrs. McCarl, and grandson look on. San Francisco, 1925. Overland 6 sedan. August 1918. In the kitchen preparing food for wounded American soldiers in U.S. Army Base Hospital No. 41 at St. Denis, France. April 1943. The PBRRR. Pabst Beer sign over the Illinois Central Freight Yard at South Water Street, Chicago. Charleston, South Carolina, 1937. Old House, Henrietta and Elizabeth Streets. December 1942. Working on a locomotive at the 40th Street Shops, Chicago Northwestern RR. August 1940. Extremely tall and excellent corn is also grown on the King and Anderson cotton plantation near Clarksdale, Mississippi Delta, Mississippi. August 1940. Street scenes, Port Gibson, Mississippi. October 1939. He brought his family to the West in a homemade trailer from Texas. Boy sick. Father has work now in potato field. Merrill, Klamath County, Oregon. February 1939. Brawley, Imperial County, California. In farm family of mother, father, and 11 children, originally from near Mangrum, Oklahoma. San Francisco circa 1922. Gardner touring car. October 1942. Riveter at work at the Douglas Aircraft Plant in Long Beach, California. Tennessee circa 1902. Chattanooga and Missionary Ridge from Cameron Hill. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Stunning actress Jane Mansfield, 1957. American photo model Petra Verkake. Winter Activities Photo Shoot 1985. Actress Jane Mansfield, 1950s. September 1938. Coal miner's wife and 3 of their children. Company house in Pusglove, Scotts Run, West Virginia. September 1938. Chaplin, West Virginia. Miner who has worked in mines since he was 14 and has tried to save money and have a better home, with his wife, suffering from bad bronchial condition and asthma. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. Mid-Washington Service Company, 14th Street Northwest. June 1915. Washington, D.C., 15th Street North from G Street NW. Washington, D.C., circa 1915. G Street NW East from 15th at Treasury Department. April 1865. Charleston, South Carolina. Post Office, East Bay Street, showing the only palmetto tree there is in the city. December 31st, 1912. Dime Savings Bank Building, Detroit. March 1917. Washington, D.C. Cosmos Theater, Pennsylvania Avenue. Inauguration Week Bill. June 1943. Silver Spring, Maryland. Man repairing his automobile. January 1939. Unemployed miner. Herrin, Illinois. May 3, 1926. Apple blossoms at Winchester, Virginia. Circa 1928. Tacoma Park, Maryland. Washington Sanitarium Laboratory. October 13, 1945. Child's Frick Residence in Roslyn, Long Island, New York. Guest Cottage South Facade. January 1925. Washington, D.C. Wardman Motor Company and Carlton Garage, 1108 to 14 Vermont Avenue. Chelsea, Michigan, circa 1901. Glacier Stove Company, Machine Room. Detroit, circa 1909. Union Depot, 4th and 3rd Streets. Washington, D.C., circa 1925. International Exchange Bank, 5th and H Streets, NW. January 1943. Washington, D.C. Pearl Ginsburg refused to have her boarding house rent raised. I have no idea what this is about. Make up your own story. Probably early 1950s. San Francisco, circa 1927. Peerless 6-90 sedan at Japanese Tea Garden, Golden Gate Park. Washington, D.C., circa 1937. Lobby, Acacia Mutual Life Insurance Company Building. (1940s) photo taken by my grandfather, Detroit news photographer Howard McGraw, of a young man who's really just too cool for words. Don't worry, the cigarette is not lit. November 1953. Beverly Hills, California. Comedian Groucho Marx sitting on a swing set with daughter Melinda. France. April 1918. The horrible disfigured man of war cannot cool the warmth of the friendship of his old comrade. Russian and Telegraph Hills, from roof of Ferry P.O. San Francisco. Palace Hotel, Market Street, San Francisco. After the devastating earthquake and fire of April 1906. Pretty model Natalie Banas, 1990. Washington, D.C., 1922. Department of Agriculture. First device to accurately measure a loaf of bread in cubic centimeters has been perfected by Bureau of Agricultural Economics. Washington, D.C., 1923. Dancer is all it says here. Washington, D.C., 1918. C.N. Odell children. Illegally but adorably parked. June 1939. Cowbat Quarter Circle U Roundup, Bighorn County, Montana. The Mississippi River circa 1900. Mardi Gras, New Orleans. Awaiting wrecks on the levee. Newport Beach, California. Balboa Bathing Parade, 1925. (1906) Mardi Gras in New Orleans. The Royal Chariot with wrecks at Canal Street Ferry. October 1939. Greeley, Colorado. Mrs. Milton Robinson, wife of Farm Security Administration borrower, in the kitchen of her farm home. September 1943. Cincinnati, Ohio. The children of Bernard Cochran, a Greyhound bus driver, doing dishes after Sunday dinner. (1938) Swimwear model on bow of skiff at Marineland. December 20th, 1909. Firemen spraying burning building on West 14th Street, New York. September 1943. Indianapolis, Indiana. A Greyhound bus station. Washington, D.C., November 24, 1924. Bonus Bureau Personnel Records Division. June 25, 1921. Washington, D.C. Bathing Beach Costume Contest. San Francisco circa 1920. Moon Auto. September 1943. Cincinnati, Ohio. Loading baggage on a Greyhound bus at the bus terminal. August 1937. Virginia, Minnesota Cooperative Service Station of the Virginia Workpeople's Trading Company. September 1937. Wife of John Holling, member of the Otsego Forest Products Cooperative. Otsego County, New York. West Main Street in Alhambra, California. Detroit circa 1908. Walker Block, Griswold and Fort SDS. San Francisco circa 1919. Franklin Touring Car. September 1939. A gray day in New York City, looking northeast from University Place. Boston, Massachusetts, circa 1909. Christchurch, Old North. Circa 1909. Madison Avenue, Toledo. November 1942. Pittsburgh vicinity. Montour No. 4 mine of the Pittsburgh Coal Company. Coal miner waiting to go underground. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Enchanting photo shoot of Maria Whitaker, 1988.